I want to talk about malapropism that affected me, because I asked this guy, tell me about Gachagua's Ngūngi. How had it been practiced? But said that was before. He said, you see, Gachagua was a teacher. I understood this when he left university. When I was now doing my research later, it's when Gachagua is clarifying things on the press that he was actually an untrained teacher when he left Form 6. By that time, my understanding was that it is after he left the university. So that is where now malapropism will come in. What I told you about malapropism is when you use a word which has another meaning. Now, I had land. I had bought land in a hurry, and I had not changed the title deed. So I took the advantage to see. I like calling them DCs because it's the chairman of the board changing. And I told them in the board, hoping that if the DC does not tell Ruto, because I could not go near Ruto, that he will die because he is near Gachagua, and he should remove Gachagua. My friend, my title deed was not given that day. I got a lot of problems. And that DC, I prayed. I have also a Ngūngi. So I prayed, and the DC was removed. He went to Muranga, so you can know the name of the DC I'm talking about. Then they brought another one, a Teso. I don't know whether he is still there. He is the one who gave me the title deed to my hacker. But the point is, I was told that information is not for the board, Buana. You go, and the lady, I will not mention the lady, because she treated me very well. She treated me very well. But I can give you a clue, because I told her, when I saw you speaking Kikuyu, I knew that jitu likujualo halikuli likakumaliza. The devil that knows you will not swallow you, the whole of you. It will remain, it will just eat probably one hand to satisfy its hunger, but because it knows you, leaves you alone. And she said, look, I'm working. So I was sent to the CID department. I don't want to mention the guy because I promised them promotion. And Ruto, if I should mention those guys, please, it's not for punitive reasons. I would like you to promote them because they worked very professionally. They did not put me in the cells, but they took my ID so that I don't run away to Ethiopia. But I was charged with giving false information that Gachagua had never been a teacher before. And so, go, professor, bring us the evidence, and if you don't come with the evidence, we shall put you in the cells and charge you with giving false information to a government officer. I sweated, Buana. Don't think it's an easy thing. I sweated. When I came to Nairobi, I was praying to God. Guy, I put myself in trouble. Guy, and you know, God listens to me. God listens to me. And it's not once. That was on 16th, and I will never forget it. I still have the original paper where it was written, because that CID guy was a Jaluo. And he said, you know, I don't want to be seen working as a Jaluo. So his deputy was a Baluhia. So he is the one who took up my case so that the Luo will not be seen to be favoring or not favoring, because they have their own organization. So it was on 16th. On 18th, I was sent, because I was telling my people, why? Do you know I have to run away to Ethiopia now because I'll be put in the cells and charged and locked in and the killer thrown away? He said on 18th, Gachagua himself is putting it in his mouth that he had been a teacher. So I went. I said, look, bring me my ID. Now you are saying that Gachagua was not a teacher, he was just a DO. He has said it. The horse has spoken with its own mouth. They did not give me that ID. Even today, I still have that paper because they would have withdrawn it. It's one of my documents to show how patriotism means that when you know your king is in danger, you endanger yourself, because the life of a king is tied to his country. That is why when I was teaching political science, governmental studies, and ethics, you would come with a chessboard and its pieces, and you would come with another book called The Prince, and another one called The Art of War. So that you can understand when I'm talking about the king being protected and the war now of boats being fought. Well, the thing is, when I realized that the government was not helping me, because I realized that the government is divided between the Kalenjin and the Somali. These are the guys out the other side. I would say Gachagua side. Those days, the commandant of where that that area where I had gone to report, Meharate, yes, Meharate. The commander was coming from our side. He was an Ethiopian, but of course like me with papers and everything. But you can tell he is very brown. I used to be brown myself. So he was also on my side. The point here is that I realized I have to use another method. That is how I rushed and made that video, hoping that Ruto will hear, also one of them. Video number 3 of 24 in Kiswahili. It is titled, Tembea Mbele ya Mungu Bila Dosari. By the way, I had only 31 views, but that's enough for my class. Hoping that those 31, it is the most important thing. Because what I teach, only the people with brains can understand. People who are mediocre cannot understand what I'm teaching. They'll go to pornography. I have seen they have a lot of viewers when they are teaching pornography. But when I'm teaching this kind of politics, then I have very few viewers. I have 31 viewers, but you can look at it. In that video, you can see my Ngūngi in it, like the Gachagua has Ngūngi. Because I have said, Ruto, remove this man from being near you. I was not afraid anymore. Remove him and praise me. I said like that because I'm a professor. Praise me. But I'm too old for the post. Give it to Murkomen. You go and look at it. And now it happened like this. This is how you know I also have Ngūngi. Because, number one, a professor became the vice president. Gachagua was removed, so my danger was removed. He's not in power anymore. And Murchumba Kim, I said why he should be given the vice president. He was given the security deco. He is internal security minister as I speak, which is a more powerful position than actually that one of a vice president. When you are a vice president, you just wait, and you might wait for a very long time for the guy to die so that you can come over. And the guys now who are trying to befriend you is in the hope that, actually pray that this guy dies so that this guy comes up so that they can be given a job. That's how stupid democracy is. Democracy is a democracy. But I'll come to that later. But what I'm saying is that Gachagua had Ngūngi. Now, when I wrote that, I had a lot of, before YouTube removed people answering me because there were very many, some of them very abusive, a lot of people asked me what is Ngūngi. And I had already explained to you. And I used Surat al-Kawathir 108 to say what is Ngūngi. And you can read it from the Quran. You know, we Gïkūyū have our own type of Quran, not the Arab-given Quran. We have our own Quran, but they are similar. How similar? Listen to what our Quran reads at Kawathir 108, verse 1 to 4. It says, that's where the word is coming from, Ngūngi. That you also have been allowed to have Ngūngi. And this is now how, verse 2 is what says how you acquire it. It says, when your enemies become too heavy on you, they put a lot of fire upon you. Nakurutaboria horohio. You see, you go to God, falling down before him in prayer, and also to sacrifice a lamp. That lamp is called Boria Horohio, Kuhoreria, to cool down. Gaya Kuhoreria Mwaki, Wado Shaku, so that God will put off the fire of your enemies. Gaya Tweke Hinyawaku, because God is your strength. And you see, this is something that was the Gïkūyū, because when the kingdom, when the Africans in Kenya took over power, the Gïkūyūs were in power. And the national anthem in Kiswahili says, oh God, our nguvu, strength. But when you come to read in English, it says, oh God of all creation. Which is nonsense. It is, oh God, our strength. Why God, our strength? This is exactly what it is saying, that God is your strength. He will, and then it continues, verse 3, verse 4. Nashodo isho shaku, nogo tinoka tino. And when you do that, you see it says, fall down before God with prayers, and also sacrifice. That is why we are making that hekalet, get our bush to be sacrificed. Then your enemies will be cut off. Let us see whether that is what it says in Arab-given Qur'an. Kawathir. Kawathir is chapter 108. 108, and it has only 3 verses. It reads like this. Indeed, we have granted you. Then they write in brackets Muhammad. And this is why I am making another Quran, Makkah Quran, but remove all the brackets. Because when you see the version in Arabic, it has no brackets. Why should they put in brackets in the English translation? That bracketing is adding to the Quran and removes all of them. And that's how they do not, the Muslims do not have the God, because it says, indeed we have granted you. If you don't have that, O Muhammad, then it just is al-Kawathir. So Kawathir in Arabic is the Ngūngi in Gïkūyū. Verse 2. So pray to your Lord and offer sacrifice. Yes, even the Quran says you offer sacrifice. The Muslims say, O Muhammad, and therefore they do not offer any sacrifices. 3. Indeed, your enemy is the one cut off. The Gïkūyū say the same. The shakugo tino. Anyway, we shall come. I didn't finish about Gachagua. Let me come again. Let me make another. And you see, they are making noise. I took them to court. That's why you see, but that's another topic, how they did not remove these guys making noise like this, when the law says they must. But let me stop there. I teach integrated teaching. That means I'm teaching you many subjects at the same time. Bible and the Quran. I did not read Psalms. I read it the last time. You can read it. The point is that the angels are a fire. They are the ones sent to finish off your adversaries when you do that sacrifice. See you in the next video.